Story time about how I caught my boyfriend and my best friend talking trash about me. My boyfriend swears that this was the first time they ever spoke badly about me behind my back, so I need you guys to tell me your opinion. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years, but it's been on and off for a very long time. He's always been a little bit toxic and extremely jealous. Jealous to the point where I can't have any guy friends. He has to know exactly where I'm going and with who, and he always likes to approve the content I'm about to post on Instagram. One time I actually posted a bikini picture of me and my best friend, and he flipped out. He said all I was doing was trying to get attention from guys. After this, I broke up with him and we didn't see each other for like 3 months. But apparently he called my best friend and asked her to convince me to get back with him. And she succeeded. I got back with him. But it seems like my boyfriend just kept getting even more jealous of everything. He even got jealous of my new boss. My boss happens to be young and very attractive, and my boyfriend forced me to quit. You heard that right. I quit my job. Part 2 is up. Story time about how I caught my boyfriend and my best friend talking trash about me behind my back. He swears this never happened before, but I don't know. You guys have to tell me what you think. After he forced me to quit my job because he thought I was attracted to my boss, I held a lot of resentment. So I went and talked to my best friend. Cause duh, isn't that what you usually do when you have a problem? I went straight to her house and I cried to her. She told me that I was stupid for even leaving my job, and basically that I needed to break up with my boyfriend. Then I got really mad at her. She convinced me to get back with him. I ended up leaving her place because I was so upset. I went to my parents and told them everything that happened. My dad was so upset. He called my boyfriend and told him to never ever look for me again, and that he was the worst thing that had ever happened to me. My mom even called him the devil. Part 3 is up. Story time about how I caught my boyfriend and my best friend talking trash behind my back. After my dad yelled at my boyfriend on the phone telling him to stay away from me, my boyfriend started calling my phone non-stop. At this point, you can imagine I was super upset. My boyfriend forced me to quit my job, which I did. My best friend wasn't listening to me, and my parents were just attacking my boyfriend. So I decided to go back to my best friend's house. I pull up to her apartment building and park. I walked all the way up to her apartment, but as I got closer to the door, I could hear my boyfriend and her speaking. I immediately thought that my boyfriend was there looking for me, but something told me to stop and listen at the door. That's when I hear my best friend calling me a stupid, that I don't appreciate my boyfriend, and that even though I'm a brat, I still get everything I want. Then my boyfriend says, "You should have heard her fat dad. I should beat the crap out of him for his disrespect." I walked in and told him I heard everything. My best friend immediately apologized and backtracked. She said she was just trying to calm my boyfriend down who was being aggressive. My boyfriend also apologized. I told him I couldn't trust them. They swore that that was the first time they'd ever done that. My best friend keeps calling me, but I won't answer her calls. Should I break up with my boyfriend?
My sister made me look like a clown for prom because she didn't want me to get more guys than she did in high school. I put my trust in her hands because she's literally a makeup artist. I'm 17 and she's 21. I was honestly surprised she even offered to do my makeup because of how much of a hater she is, but I let her do it anyway. And so she does my makeup, and I feel like, you know, when someone's doing your makeup and it just doesn't feel right, the application feels wrong. You know, like, that's a lot of blush you're using. So then she's like, "I did my very best. I really hope you love it. I'll be sick to my stomach if you hate it." Trying to guilt me into wearing it because she knows she made me look like a clown. So when I see it, I go, "Oh, it's beautiful." Literally about to throw up and cry at the same time. So my date comes to pick me up and he's like, "What happened to your face?" And I'm like, "Just drive." Then once I get to school, this is what confirmed that she did it on purpose. My best friend pulls up my sister's makeup account and she goes, "Oh my God, look at all the clients your sister had for prom night. She did so amazing with all of these looks." And I noticed I'm the only person that looks like a clown on her timeline. I'm like, wait a minute, she did this on purpose? I went home and put bleach all over her makeup.
I will never go hiking again. So back in 2020, I thought it was a great time to, be one with nature. No, I just wanted some good Instagram pictures, let's be honest. I don't know what I was thinking because I am not the most athletic person. No, I'm not athletic at all. But in my brain, I processed, I'm just walking. I'm just walking up the mountain. I'm not running. I'm just walking. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I did absolutely no preparations for this at all. I did no research. I didn't know how many miles I was gonna walk. I didn't bring any good supplies. I brought goldfish in a water bottle. Goldfish in a water bottle. I went with 3 people. I went with my best friend, my husband, and my husband's best friend. And keep in mind, all 3 of them are fit. They work out on the regular, okay? I, on the other hand, the only workout I do is TikTok dances, okay? Take your feet out of the frame! Anyways, the day comes, we drive like 2, maybe 3 hours to West Virginia to go to Old Rag Mountain. Get to Old Rag Mountain and we have to park the car and we have to start walking to where the trail begins. So the trail doesn't begin where the parking lot is. You have to walk like a mile or so to get to the trail where the mountain begins. I'm not even walking on an incline, okay? And I'm already out of breath and sweating profusely, okay? We didn't even reach the trail to start walking up that mountain. At this time, I am having second thoughts, and I am thinking that maybe I am not prepared for this. Me being a people pleaser, I didn't want to disappoint anybody and say I didn't want to go and I wanted to go back to the car and I wanted to go home. So I just pushed through it. Everyone's walking way ahead of me. I'm walking as slow as a grandma with freaking arthritis in her shins. It is bad. It is bad, okay? It is way worse than bad. It is shkla. I don't know what that is. We're walking up this mountain and it's been like 20 minutes and I've taken like 15 breaks, okay? 15 breaks in 20 minutes. That should tell you something. And I keep asking them, how many more minutes until we get there? They're like, oh, 10 more minutes. 10 minutes later, we're not there. At this point, I can barely breathe, okay? I'm literally breathing like... An hour and a half goes by and we're still walking up this mountain and we're not there. This is sad to admit, but I did start crying. I asked them how many more minutes until we get there. They're like, it's 10 more minutes, Bella. You can do it. You can do it. I see a lady walking down the mountain. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, how many more minutes till we get up there? She's like, about an hour. Finally get there after 3 hours. Worst experience of my life. It wasn't worth it. Great view though, but not worth it.
The time I got hurt running down some bleachers. So when I was younger, I was in this little rec cheerleading league, and my brother played football. But we weren't in the same age division, so when he was playing football, I wasn't cheering. So one day we had a game at this really old stadium. I'm talking really old, wooden bleachers that were rotted and falling apart. Probably could use some upgrades. Anyway, a friend and I were up on the bleachers playing. Then my mom, who was at the bottom of the bleachers, told me to come down because it was time to go home. Anyway, it was my bright idea to run all the way down the bleachers, skipping the steps entirely. Unlucky for me, my foot got caught and I tripped and fell down 10 bleachers. So many splinters. Of course, I screamed and spent the rest of the afternoon getting splinters removed from my legs. Moral of the story, don't run down the bleachers, otherwise you're going to have a very painful afternoon.
One time a guy asked me on a date to play racquetball, which if you don't know what it is, it's the game where you hit the ball against the wall and then your opponent hits the ball against the wall and then I think that's how it works, okay? But basically you're hitting a ball against a wall. And he asked me to play it with him on a date. And I said I'd be happy to go, but I've never played racquetball before and I can't catch, throw, or kick a ball. And he was like, don't worry, you'll get it. And I think sometimes people think that I'm faking humility and I'm really being honest about how horrible I am at things. And he took me to play racquetball. He signed me in as a guest at his gym. And then pretty quick after we got in there, he was trying to teach me how to serve. And I don't know how I did this, but I hit the ball straight down. It went straight up to the ceiling and broke the light. And I was like, should we go tell someone? And he said, no, we should run. And we just left the gym. And then he asked me out on a second date, surprisingly, and he said, do you play tennis? And I was like, no, I said I can't catch, throw, or kick a ball. And he was like, I'll teach you how to play tennis. So he took me back to his gym. They didn't know that we were the ones who destroyed the light in the racquetball room. We went on to one of the tennis courts, and he kept hitting tennis balls past my head. He was like, you'll get the next one. You'll get the next one. And I was like, I told you I'm bad at this. And then after an hour of hitting tennis balls past my head, we ended the date and he never spoke to me again.